Right, today I'm going to go get some artichokes. This is a 5x5 planter bed. Put this artichoke in 2 years ago. This year it's coming up with some pretty good heads. They're still not full size, big mature heads, but this second year I'm pretty happy. These are purple globe. You can see around here I actually put strawberries around the edges of this guy. But anyhow, so when harvesting artichokes, there's a couple of things that I always like to look for. So typically, this is the classic artichoke. You'll see that down in here you'll get several different sections of artichoke that'll come up on a single stalk. And typically this single stalk here will always have a main head and then usually two little side heads. And the main head's always usually the largest, and that guy I like to take off first. But when I first started growing artichokes, I never knew exactly when to take them down and or when to harvest them. So over the years I've kind of learned when you see something like this where it has a really nice cone shape and the flower hasn't quite opened up yet, that's when you want to grab them. That's when they're going to be the most tender. And like for example here's another stalk, and this guy, if you see all the way down there, the main stalk here I've already harvested right here. This guy maybe a couple weeks ago, but the two side ones, one here and the other guy here, I've let go because those are the smaller ones. But if you can see, these guys are just a little bit too late to be harvesting in my opinion. You're always fighting this, you want them to be bigger, but as they get bigger, sometimes especially in high heat, like right now we're getting a lot of heat, they're going to open up like this. So they're already starting to open up. They're not as cone shaped. If they were kind of squished, more like this guy right here, that would be a better shape. That's when you know they're really tender. This guy is still going to be good, but he's probably going to get a little tough. But anyhow, so what I like to do is I'll usually just cut these guys, maybe 3 inches. So I'm going to take this guy, try to do this all with one hand, and maybe I'll put that guy down there and snatch this other one here. And so there's a couple of nice ones. I'm also going to pull the top of this one off because this guy's just right. And so snatch this guy and put him down here. Let's see here. So now I got 3 nice artichokes I'm going to have a chance to cook up probably in just a few hours. The other thing with artichokes is that since this stalk is now expended, so we got the center one and then the 2 side ones, usually it's not going to push anything else up. It might, but what I want to do now is, since all this foliage here is going to be drawing energy from the ground, I'd rather that energy go into, let's say these other purple guys here. There's a couple more over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here, and I'm going to cut this whole thing off. I'm just going to get in here with my shears and just start hacking away about 2 inches from the top. There we go. There we go. So, kind of seems a little kind of a bummer to waste that, but you can't eat it, and all it does is take energy from the plant for other artichokes on other stalks. So what I do is I kind of cut this guy down to about 3 or 4 inches from the ground. Get rid of this. And there you go. And again, that's when to harvest an artichoke. Like I said, if we take a look at these guys right here, kind of take them out of the sun so you can see these a little nicer. So these 2 guys here, they're good. They're going to be a little tougher because you can see how they've opened up. They're more of like a The flower is almost starting to open up, so they're just a little bit past when I would usually harvest them. And this guy is just right. You can see how it's kind of still closed, so that's going to be a nice, tender, tasty artichoke. And yeah, that's how to harvest some, when to harvest artichokes.